I'll never forget the first morning I found her car sitting across my driveway. A bright red SUV, spotless, shiny, and perfectly positioned to make sure I couldn't back out. I had an important interview that morning, one I'd been waiting months for. I stood there with my keys in hand, staring in disbelief. I thought maybe it was a mistake, maybe a visitor parked there by accident. But then I saw the sticker HOA board president, Karen D. That was the day I realized peace in my new neighborhood would come at a cost. When I moved into Lakeview Estates, I was just looking for a fresh start. My wife had passed away the year before, and I wanted somewhere quiet, a place where I could breathe, grieve, and rebuild. The little blue house at the end of the cul-de-sac felt perfect. I didn't know that right across the street lived Karen, the self-appointed ruler of the neighborhood. She wasn't just nosy, she was territorial, and the HOA had given her the kind of authority that made her dangerous. It started small. She'd leave notes on my door about trash bins being visible or grass half an inch too long. I let it slide. Then came the complaint: say your wind chimes are too loud, your porch light's too bright, even your car's too old for our community image. It was suffocating, but I still tried to stay calm. Then came the driveway war. The first time she blocked it, I asked politely, "Hey, Karen, could you move your car? I've got somewhere to be." She smiled in that sharp, smug way only people like her can. "It's just for a few minutes. You'll survive. Maybe next time, park in your garage like everyone else." Her few minutes turned into an hour. I missed my interview. That job could have changed my year, maybe my life. I let it go, but the anger stayed buried deep. The second time, it happened on purpose. She was hosting a whole gathering, and her driveway was full. I asked again. She laughed. "Call the cops if you want. They'll side with me. HOA rules give priority to events." That was a lie. But I didn't know it then. The police shrugged, saying it was a civil issue. I realized I was on my own. Weeks passed, and it became her routine. Every time she was in a bad mood, every time I didn't attend her home meetings or comply with her petty beautification demands, her car appeared in front of my driveway like a scarlet warning flag. One morning, after she blocked me in for the fifth time, something inside me broke. I wasn't just angry anymore, I was done. That night, I sat at my computer and started researching HOA regulations, towing laws, and property boundaries. Turns out, Karen had been overstepping every line in the book, and I had the proof to back it up. I gathered documents, photos, and even video recordings from my doorbell camera showing her parking there repeatedly and refusing to move. But I didn't stop there. I learned something even more interesting. A HOA property doesn't extend onto my private driveway. That meant I had the full legal right to tow any vehicle that blocked it, no matter who owned it. So, I made the call. I hired a private towing company, one that handled repossessions discreetly. I gave them the documentation, proof of property ownership, and her license plate number. They didn't even blink. A week later, I woke up early and watched from behind my curtain as Karen's red SUV sat proudly across my driveway once again. She was inside, sipping her coffee like she owned the street. I made the call. The tow truck arrived within 15 minutes, silent and efficient. The driver checked my papers, nodded once, and hooked her car. The sound of the metal tightening around her wheels was the sweetest music I'd heard in months. Karen bolted out of her house, screaming, "You can't do this. I'm the HOA president." The driver, calm as ever, handed her the legal notice. "Ma'am, this vehicle is parked illegally on private property. You can retrieve it from the impound lot once you pay the fees." Her face went white. "Fees? How much?" "About $1,200. Cash or card?" The entire neighborhood peeked through their blinds as the truck drove off with her pride and joy. Her screams echoed down the street, a symphony of justice. But the real twist came later that evening. Karen stormed over, red-faced and shaking, demanding I pay for her towing. I handed her a thick envelope, copies of every violation she'd ever committed, along with the formal complaint I'd submitted to the Regional HOA Oversight Board. "You've been breaking more HOA rules than anyone here," I said calmly. "I've already filed the evidence. I suggest you start packing." 2 months later, Karen was no longer HOA president. Turns out, misusing HOA power and harassing residents can get you permanently banned from any association board. She sold her house not long after, muttering something about ungrateful neighbors. The day her moving truck left the cul-de-sac, the air felt lighter and peaceful again, like it was meant to be. I planted a new rose bush near my mailbox that spring. Every time I see it bloom, I think about the day I stopped letting bullies control my peace. Sometimes, you don't have to shout, fight, or stoop to their level. Sometimes, the best revenge is simply knowing the rules better than the people trying to use them against you. Karen's car disappeared for good, but so did her power over my life. And in that silence, I finally found what I'd been searching for since I moved here: peace, justice, and the quiet strength of standing up for yourself the right way.